Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel aka Coding. We will continue with learning HTML with the day of 7, and today we are going to learn a very interesting theme and topic, which is about HTML forms, building forms for user input. So we will learn how to create forms with HTML. So let's get started. What is a form in HTML? In HTML, forms are used to collect user input. We use forms to create in order to collect from the users different types of inputs regarding. So forms are created with the form tag in HTML, and forms can include various input fields like text, email, password, and for more. Forms also helps for submissions can be processed by a server or client-side script. So we have basic form structure that we are going to write in our HTML. How we'll be writing. So just we'll go to our Visual Studio Code and I will show you. I will open a new file for the day of 7, lesson 7.html. After that, let's write our program, the form, in order to make a kind of inputs from users to get, okay? We will practice how to create them. So I will open in the live server too. So it's not giving. I think there is a problem with my computer because it's working so slow. I think so. So I will do this one, and then I will copy from this page. Okay. So, we missed the body tag from here. Now everything's fine. So we don't need this style. And now we'll be writing the code inside of our body. So, in order to create a form, as I said before, we have to write the tag, which is called form. So I'll write form, and when I write it, it's just like this, and it's giving an action attribute. So for the moment being now, we don't need action, so we'll write only inputs for that. So I'll just update it because I didn't save it. So now it's fine, and then I will change this title also to forms in HTML, and it's fine, right? So we'll go back to our slide. So as you can see, we have basic form structure. This structure, as you can see, right? We have form, like this is the opening and this is the closing, as you know, and we have a label which is for name. We have an input for the type is text, the ID is name, and name is also name. Now we have a button in order to submit it. So I will show you how it works, these tags, and I will show you on VS Code simply. So we'll go back, and then I will write label, and we don't need for at the moment. For now, we'll write name, right? And after that, we'll go and then we'll write input, and I will write, for example, the placeholder, right? And I will write your name. So I will tell you what is type, what is placeholder, what is for, okay? Don't worry about that. Today's video can be a bit longer because it takes some time to explain. And after that we have button, and I will write submit. And let's see the result. So we have this kind of simple input. So for example, when you go to Instagram or when you go to Facebook or any kind of websites, and when it asks to sign up or register, or log in, there will be this kind of inputs for name or for email or for phone number, right? Or ID, for example, right? And then there will be another one, which is the password. So we'll create like this. So let's go back, and after that I will write again label to ask, for example, surname. No, not surname, maybe age. And I will write age here. And after that, I will write input again. And for text, I will write number. And I will write placeholder your age, for example. Not this one, maybe this is better with 3 dots, right? And that's it. Let's see. We have name, you have to fill your name. We have age, you have to fill your age and then submit it. So for example, I will write my name Abu and my age is, for example, 20, and then I will submit it and it goes. Let's go where we don't know. So it's not necessary for us. So I will explain the attributes now. So we have for, when we're working with JavaScript, like for refers to this attribute, like as you can see, it's labelable from related element in the same document as the label level. The first element in the document with an ID matching the value of the for attribute is the labeled control for this label element. If it is labelable element, if it is not labelable, then for attribute has no effect. So it means we have for attribute, like we called name, and when we are working with JavaScript, and when we call this ID, it's ID of the label, and when we want to match with the for, if as you can see here, if for attribute is labeled control for this label element, if it's labelable element, when it works. If it's not labelable element, then for attribute there is no any kind of effect. So it's a bit necessary for JavaScript. For now we don't need to understand more. I will explain in JavaScript playlist later. So we have type, we have input. Input is executing this one. This is an input, right? In order to get an input from the user actually. And we have a type which is called text. So it means you can only write here only texts. You can also write numbers if you want. You can also write any signs if you want, right? It doesn't matter. It takes only text instead of this. So we have placeholder, which is showing to the user in order to what to write for this input. For example, I will remove this and I will remove the placeholder, and as you can see, the user doesn't know what to write here. For example, if I put a placeholder, user knows because it's showing your name, so the user knows that he needs to write his name. So in case of if there's no label, it'll be better to write a placeholder. And we have a label again with the age and the input. We have an input which is the type is number, so it means you can only write the numbers here. It's impossible to write a letter. Only you can write one letter, which is called E because of math. For example, this and E. You know this in math, right? Like error, or I think it stands for error. So, and we have placeholder, as you know, and we have a button. Button in order to submit, right? In order to submit the form. So let's make our form more better. So for that, what we are going to write, so here I will write after the first input BR, which stands for break. So it means it breaks a line. You see? It breaks a line. If I make it multiple, it will be more better, right? And for submit also, let's do it. I will just copy here and then I'll paste it. Now it's fine. Better design. So this is a form. So let's go about our slide and we will continue with reading here. The form is wrapped in the form tag, right? And the action attribute, which is this, I didn't write in form, specifies the server or script that will process for the form data. I mean, it will process the form data with this attribute. I mean, if there is an action attribute, you can specify the server. So we have another thing, which is the method. Method attribute defines how the form will send data, get or post. We'll be learning in the JavaScript playlists what is get and what is post, and for what we are going to use the action attribute. So we have common input types, as I showed before. So we have input types. We have text, email, password. We use text for name and age for like number. We use number for age, right? And we have a password also. We have an email. So email valid for email address validates format, and password field input is hidden, and it only works for password. So the submit button, the button or input type submit. So we have also one type I wanted to show you. If I change the input of this to submit, we'll see it is also changed to submit, right? So we can also use button or input, doesn't matter. So I will show you, I think if I will try to tell you what is input type submit and what is button. Button is a button that you can execute the code with like clicking, right? Like that. So clicking the submit button sends the form data, so which is the button, to the server or script defined in action attribute of the form, as you can see here. So we can also declare for button type submit. Okay, we can do this, and I will tell you some takeaways, and you have to practice at home after watching this video as well. So forms in HTML are created using the form tag, as you learned today, with various input fields such as input, label, and for input types for text, email, password, number, right? And also we have some input types I will show you after explaining this. And we use button or input type submit to submit the form. And I will tell you, you have to practice at home with creating a form with text, email, and password fields, and add a submit button to send the data. And that's all. This is your task. I think you understand. So we have a lot of like types. So the first one is button, checkbox, color, date, datetime, local, email, file, hidden, image, month, number, password, radio, range, reset, search, submit, tell, text, time, URL, week, and that's all. So these are the types of the inputs. So only we learned about like text, email, password, and number. That's it. So thank you for your watching, and see you in the next videos.